here's the only framework you will ever need to write emails that actually work and actually sell a lot of freaking money. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. But again, I cannot promise that's going to be your case. But what I can tell you is that this actually works. It has worked for me. And no, this is not PAS. This is not Pastor. It is certainly not Nesby or Dick. It is none of this framework. It is something else. It in fact has 6 points that I'm going to go over with you right here in this video pretty quickly, pretty straight to the point, and pretty explained in depth. But before I do that, let me just knock off the authority pretty quickly. So as you see, this is exactly what I did to write emails for a campaign that I launched for one of my clients. And as you see right here, this got us $165,000 in little less than 47 days, like 1st of July to August the 17th. And this is what the client said, fucking genius, haha, and then just something like learn more. And then this is better than anything else we've had in terms of call to actions and that email newsletter. I've been providing value, whatever. And yo, how's it going? I did a problem yesterday and got 155 people to click on. As you see, this works like crazy, and it has been already proven and tested. Here are the 6 points that I talked to you about. Number one is going to be, and by the way, I want you to please understand this pretty clearly. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to make as much money as you want. And also, this is not information you see any other guru talking about because they don't know about this. All they know about is just like reselling the same information over and over again, even though it no longer works. So here it is. Number one is going to be external. What do I mean by external? So this external means the external problem your clients or your niche suffers from the outside. Yeah, but what does this mean? It's pretty simple. If you're fat, that's your external problem. You're fat, right? If you're broke, that's your external problem. You're broke. That is the problem that people see from the outside that you currently have. That's the easiest way for me to put it. And now that external problem is going to lead to another problem, in most cases, an internal problem. This is going to be how that external problem affects you internally. I'm talking about emotionally. What being fat makes you feel, if, for example, being fat is going to crush your self-esteem. Like, yes or yes, it is going to crush it. If you're broke, also, you're going to compare yourself to others all the time. If you're broke and you don't have money and you have friends, then you used to go out with your friends, but you no longer can because you don't have the money to afford the meals. You have no money to afford the drinks. You have no money for partying. You have no money for shit because you're broke. Then that's your external problem. But what not being able to afford the meals, not being able to pay for new clothes, buying the stuff that you want makes you feel. It makes you feel like shit, right? It makes you feel like you're not enough. It makes you feel like you are never going to be enough and then you need to make money. That's going to be that internal problem, how that external problem affects you from the inside. This external problem is going to affect you in a way that it is what we call the philosophical problem. And this is one of the things that I learned from my mentor, by the way. This philosophical problem is very important to understand. If you don't get this thing right, like, of course, the other ones also matter, but this one especially, and the reason for that is because that philosophical problem are the things that your clients, your niche have tried before, but have never worked for any reason. It don't matter. It has never worked. So also this can be beliefs they have, like, oh no, for me to be overweight, then I have to stop eating foods that I love. I have to go on restrictive diets and basically starve myself. No, that's not the way it works, right? So here you have to phrase your emails in a way that it actually makes sense and makes people realize that the reason they're still having that external problem is because of the things they've been doing are not the right things that actually get them the results they want. So here's how we write the email so far. So external problem, of course, you already know that external problem can be overweight, right? But this external problem can also be beliefs that they experience. It can be pains. It can be experiences, it can be goals, it can be dreams, whatever. So I would start an email with the external problem. Let's imagine I'm gonna start with the pain, like, hey, Andres, do you notice your moon phase whenever you take pictures and you realize that you're getting fatter and fatter every single day? Here's the external problem, right? So now I'm going with the internal problem. But truth is, being fat is not only affecting you in a in a negative way, but it's also harming your self-esteem. You no longer like going outside because, or you no longer like taking pictures with your friends because you always believe that people are looking at how fat your face looks. And the reason that you are or that you don't like what you see is because the gurus, or I don't know, somebody has made you believe that in order for you to lose weight, you have to actually go on restrictive diets. You have to try the keto. You have to try this. You have to try that. But truth is, none of that works. And now you have told people why this no longer works, right? So you have to explain why this no longer works. Explain why the things they have been doing is the actual problem, but don't tell them how to fix it. Just mention the things, but don't give them the fix yet. So I would tell them like, hey, they made you believe the keto, the diets, everything is actually the best way to lose weight. But in reality, it is not. You see, whenever you go on restrictive diets, I'm going to be explaining, whenever you go on restrictive diets, you trigger your hunger hormones. You make them, that's why you get hunger all the time. That's why you have to keep eating. And also, whenever you're hungry, your body starts, I don't know, your fat cells start getting bigger because they have to prepare for blah 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 blah. You give an actual solid and real explanation. If you can back that up with science, with quotes, with I don't know, Harvard researchers, whatever, the better, because then people are gonna believe that. Now let me rewrite this. If I was talking to people who have no money, right? So I would say like, hey Andres, you probably try paying for, or hey Andres, you no longer go outside with friends, or maybe you no longer go outside with friends because you cannot afford the drinks, you cannot afford the meals, you cannot even afford the bus to go to see your friends. And so now I'm gonna tell them how that makes them feel, and that makes you wonder if you're enough. That makes you wonder if you'll ever make it out in life. That makes you wonder if you actually have what it takes to make money. And that, not only that, but it makes you feel horrible because you believe that no one is going to take you serious because you don't have money, right? But look, the reason you feel like that is not even your fault. It's because somebody else has made you believe that being broke is actually good, but you know it is not good. So the reason it is not good is because of this, and you give an explanation of why being broke is actually a bad thing and not a good thing, as most people made you believe. And once you have provided that explanation, you have to give a benefit to whatever it is that whenever they stop doing the thing they've been doing are gonna get. What I mean by that is, if you're fat and then you say like, yeah, going on restrictive diets is not the key, and here's why: it triggers your hunger hormones, blah blah blah. Once you understand how it works, once you understand how the hunger hormones work, it's gonna make your life so easy, and losing weight is actually gonna be faster and easier than you think. You give the benefit. Once you understand that being broke is not a good thing, you're gonna know how to make money. And look, I know that you don't have the information right now to make money, but that's exactly what I've done. I have put a short video together that explains how you can go to $5,000 in the next 6 months without investing any money, without having any previous experience in business. And that takes me to the next point: call to action. That's where you're gonna take them. You're gonna take your readers to a YouTube video, a sales page, a landing page, a webinar, or whatever that's not in the email. Remember, emails are not meant to sell. They are meant to actually sell the click to an external source, like his YouTube video, sales page, whatever. And for people who are overweight, then this call to action would be pretty simple. Like, hey, so once you understand how the hunger hormones work, it's pretty fat. You're gonna be able to lose 20 pounds of belly fat within only just 4 weeks. I actually put a short video together that explains how to do that. Click here and go watch it. Boom, there you go. That's literally the framework in a nutshell. So external, you need to identify what is the problem that people from the outside of your clients, prospects, audience, whatever, notice that they suffer from. Then the internal is going to be that internal and emotional response to whatever the external problem causes in their brains. That is why market research is so important. And here is something that I learned from a course. I don't remember the name. I believe it was breakthrough copywriting, something like that. And so basically, you put that it says every audience has many different problems, right? They have many problems that they want to solve. For example, copywriters or fitness coaches or people who are overweight all have different problems. Problems to be overweight are they know they're overweight, right? So they are going to cause certain things in their brains. For example, being overweight causes problems with self esteem, people not taking seriously, feeling people always judge them all the time. They believe their families don't care about them, blah, 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 blah. But you need to find the strongest pain in your market because that's the strongest pain is going to give you the most money to solve. That's why market research is so important. And that's why you need to know what the biggest problem is or the strongest problem is. And once you identify what that big problem make or causes internally, then you have to tell them why trying the things they have tried before has never worked. So for copywriters, being broke, right, is the problem. Not having the money to take care of the loved ones, feeling like there'll never be enough, feeling like people will never take them seriously because they don't have money, never find the true love is gonna be the internal problem. And then, yeah, you've been told that for you to get copywriting clients, you actually need to send 100 DMs and I don't know, the bait and raise, bait and switch outreach, but that's the exact reason why it has never worked. And the reason is everybody knows that doesn't know. Everybody has heard of that before. People learn more skeptical than ever. We live in a trust recession economy. And here is actually what I have created or what I have of their short video that I have put together that once copywriters know, they're going to start landing a lot of fucking clients that pay them thousands of dollars every single time. And if you want to know what that is about, click in this video. That's it. So you see, it is pretty simple. Pretty simple. If you guys actually want to get so fucking good at writing copywriting in only 60 days that your clients beg you to work with you and also say you can afford to charge hundreds of thousands in rev shares, then book a call to speak with me one-on-one. Let's see if you're a good fit to work with me. That's it. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.